Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shalom to the house of Israel, and thank you for joining the Israelite nation. We're getting ready to close our tabernacle. We're in the 8th day. The sun is going down, going over into our 8th day, and having a holy convocation into the Most High. As a matter of fact, let's get that script. Let's get that scripture. I think it's Nehemiah. It's Nehemiah. Nehemiah 8. Yeah. 8 and 17 and 16. I think you started 14. Started 14. Pretty warm.
Yeah. Really?
Mm-hmm.
You want that family?
Huh?
You want the family?
Did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nehemiah 8 verses 14 through 18. And it reads, "And they found written in the law which the Most High had commanded Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in booths in the feast of the 7th month, and that they should publish and proclaim in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, Go forth into the mount, and fetch olive branches, and pine branches, and myrtle branches, and palm branches, and branches of thick trees, to make booths as it is written. So the people went forth and brought them and made themselves booths, every one upon the roof of his house, and in their courts, and in the courts of the house of Yah, and in the streets."
So even at the temple there was booths being made. At their homes there was booths being made. And where else?
"And in the streets of the water gate."
And in the street of the water gate there was booths being made. Come on.
"And in the street of the gate of Ephraim.
Uh-huh.
And all the congregation of them that were come again out of the captivity made booths,
Everybody made booths.
and sat under the booth.
Uh-huh.
For since the days of Joshua the son of Nun until that day had not the children of Israel done so. And there was very great gladness. Also, day by day, from the first day until the last day, he read in the book of the law of Yah. And they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day,
Which is the day the sun is going down, we're going into the 8th day.
was a solemn assembly
Uh-huh.
according unto the manner.
And that's the way it should be done, and that's the way we're doing it. Hallelujah for the reading of his word.
Hallelujah.
All right, so we're going to go over into the lesson. All right? And being that we were in the wilderness, and we were remembering or mimicking what our forefathers did as they were in the wilderness, commemorating the time that we left out of the captivity of Egypt into the wilderness of Sinai, and we dwelt there and made booths. Right? For 40 years we dwelt in the wilderness of Sinai. So we're commemorating that all this week, and also today. It's the last day, the 8th day. So I thought about that as we were feasting and dwelling in tents. And the brothers, we were always dwelling in tents. And I thought about that, what it must have felt like and how it must have been for our forefathers, how they dwelt in tents. And remembering their freedom and how they were freed from the captivity or the Egyptian captivity. Oftentimes we don't look at it like that. We talk about it, but we really need to feel it, because they were in a captivity. And we don't view it that way. A lot of us, Brews, don't view it that way. Is because we haven't felt the hardship of captivity as far as chains and whips. And we read about it in books, and we see it in movies and historical records. But we haven't experienced that part of captivity as far as being in physical chains. Now the chains are more mental more mental change, which could be far worse. So, remembering that, this is what we want to talk about. America is a wilderness we must escape. America is a wilderness that we must escape. We must be vigilant. We must be unwavering, unremovable, if we are to see our people delivered from this wilderness called America. Give me 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. If we just see ourselves freed, being that there's another black person, so-called black person, murdered, just sitting at home chilling, look through her window and boom, bam, they don't even come in the house no more. The last year, the woman came in the man's house and killed him and shot him dead. This time, the man stood outside the house and killed the woman and shot her. You can't even be safe at home anymore. But yet still people love this America. They love this place. You're not ready to leave it yet. Give me 1 Corinthians 15 and 58.
1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast.
Be steadfast.
Unmovable.
Be unmovable.
Always abounding in the work of the Most High.
Be always abounding in the work. The key word here is the work of the Most High. That's what you must be steadfast in. Unmovable in is in the work. Read on.
For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Most High.
Your labor is not in vain.
Hallelujah.
Your commemoration is not in vain. The fact that we was out in booths in the sub-below degree weather temperature, trust me, that's not in vain. It's standing for something. It's making a mark. It's unwavering. It's not flinching. It's showing the world that we truly believe what we're talking about. We believe this.
That's right.
All right. So, I said that to say this. If there is any man of our nation, any men that are in our nation, that can sit by and watch the systematic oppression and murder of your own people, I just got to say it. You're no man at all. You're not a man if you can watch your women killed and do nothing. Your children murdered and do nothing. How can you call yourself a man? There's something you and I must do. We have to do something to help our people. We have to do something to become the deliverer that Yah has sent for our people. Uh-oh. What did I just say? To become the deliverers that Yah has sent to deliver and oppress people, our people. Give me Nehemiah 9 and 27. You don't think the Most High is calling us to be a deliverer? He doesn't change. So we got to think about what companies we need to start, what educational opportunities we need to pursue and help others to pursue in order to raise the level of knowledge within our own people so we can flee this wilderness. Nehemiah 9 and 27.
Nehemiah 9 and 27 reads.
Read.
Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies.
Yah delivered us into the hands of our enemies. Come on.
Who vexed them.
They vexed us. Come on.
And in the time of their trouble.
And in the time of the trouble which we are in. Come on.
When they cried unto thee.
And we are crying unto the Most High Yah.
Thou heardest them from heaven.
He will hear us. Come on.
And according to thy manifold mercies.
Come on.
Thou gavest them Savior.
He gave them what?
Thou gavest them Savior.
He gave us what?
Thou gavest them Savior.
Read on.
Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
It's going to take men to save this nation out of the hands of the enemy. You sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it. And it's in your hand. Once the men of Israel stand up and become the deliverers and the saviors of the nation, they'll stop gunning our young men down. They'll stop gunning our young women down. But the devil only believes in action. As long as you doing inaction, marching, singing, holding hands, stopping traffic, all the hell with that. Do something internally to change our people. We need action. Give me 1 Corinthians 10. 10 and start at verse 1.
1 Corinthians 10, verse 1.
I'll show you something here.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud,
It was under the cloud,
and all passed through the sea,
and we all passed through the sea. Come on.
and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
We was baptized unto Moses. Now, you think Moses went around just dipping people in water? Because baptized means to be immersed, right? So do you think Moses just was, as millions of people walking past, he just dunking them in water? No. That's not baptism. That's not an immersing. He's going to tell us what the true baptism is and what the true immersing is. See, when you get immersed in some water, that is symbolism. That don't mean you're saved. That don't mean, that's only symbolism. That's not what they were doing here. All right? Let's get let's read on. Let's read on.
And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink.
So let's find out what that spiritual meat is. Give me John 6 and 47. Y'all work with me. I'm going to try to work through these scriptures fast because we've got a few of them, but we're going to get through them, okay? John 6 and 47. That's St. John 6 and 47. And I want verses 47 through 58. We're going to find out what that spiritual meat is.
John 6, verses 47 through 58. And it reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. I am that bread of life.
He said what?
I am that bread of life.
He's the bread of life, Yahweh Shah says. Come on.
Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness.
We did what?
Your fathers did eat manna in the
So
wilderness.
he rained manna down from heaven upon us, and that's what we ate. Yahweh Shah is using this as symbolism because they know the story. They know that history. So he's using this as an analogy. Come on.
And are dead.
And they all died. They ate the manna from heaven, and they physically died. They physically ate the manna, and they physically died. Come on.
This is the bread which cometh down from heaven.
This is the bread that they come, speaking of himself. This is the bread that come down from heaven. Come on.
That a man may eat thereof.
That a man may eat thereof.
And not die.
And not die. So now he's not talking about a physical thing. He's talking about a spiritual thing. Come on.
I am the living bread.
I am the living bread. Come on.
Which came down from heaven.
And I came down just like the manna came down. I came down. Come on.
If any man eat of this bread.
And if any man eat of this bread, my manna, my understanding, my spirit, read.
He shall live forever.
He's going to live forever. If you keep this. So what is that spirit? I mean, what is that spiritual meat then? Can you tell me what the spiritual meat is? His word, his commandments, his word. Eat it and live. Eat it and live forever. Is that it? I'm going down to 58.
No, it's still going.
Okay.
And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world.
I will give for the life of the world. Come on.
The Jews therefore strove amongst themselves,
Come on.
saying, How can this man give us his flesh to eat?
See, they still didn't understand what he was talking about. So how this man gonna give us his flesh to eat? What in the world is he talking about, right? Come on.
Then Yahushua said unto them,
Read.
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Come on.
except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man,
Except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man, come on.
and drink his blood,
And drink his blood. What is the flesh? The flesh is laws. What is the blood? His commandments. Read.
Ye have no life in you.
Come on.
Whosoever eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood,
Whoever take these commandments and keep my laws, come on,
have eternal life,
have eternal life.
and I will raise him up at the last day.
And even if he die, like your forefathers died in the wilderness, because they ate manna from heaven, but they died. But even if he die physical death, I'm going to still raise him up to life. Read.
For my flesh is meat indeed,
Uh-huh.
and my blood is drink indeed.
Come on.
He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth
Keep my
in me,
commandments and keep my laws. Come on.
dwelleth in me,
Dwells in me.
and I in him.
And I in him.
Hallelujah.
37.
Yes.
As the living Father hath sent me, and I live by the Father.
Come on.
So he that eateth of me,
Uh-huh.
even he shall live by me.
You're gonna live by me. Just like I live by the Father's word, that's how I live. And I sit with my Father. So if you keep my word, you're gonna live with me and you're gonna sit with me. That's called order. That's called order. Right there. All right, let's go back to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 10, and what verse we leave off of? 3?
3.
But now we're going to 4.
No, we still on 3.
We still on 3?
Yeah.
All right, let's
1
go.
Corinthians 10 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And did all eat the same spiritual meat,
Mm-hmm.
and did all drink the same spiritual drinks.
Mhm.
For they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them,
Mm-hmm.
and that rock was Yehoshua.
And that rock was Yehoshua. That these, the same thing Paul is just reiterating what Yahushua said, saying it in a different way. Paul is saying spiritual meat and spiritual drink. Yahushua said my flesh and my blood. But he's talking about the same thing. The same thing here. Read verse 4 again.
Corinthians 10 and 4.
Come on.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
The spiritual drink. We already talked about the spiritual meat, right? Now we're going to talk about the spiritual drink. Read it.
For they drank of that spiritual rock
Uh-huh.
that followed them,
Uh-huh.
and that rock was Yehoshua.
Now give me John 7 and 37. Give me John 7 and 37. When we come to the next precept, I want you to read Numbers for me. We're gonna come back to Corinthians, but I want you to precept it.
John 7 and 37 reads, In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
Uh-huh.
He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said,
Come on.
out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
So you, as a man and woman of Israel, must eat that spiritual meat and drink that spiritual drink in order to change your mind. And rivers of water is symbolism for rivers of information will flow from you. That's it. That's the way it works. You eat the spiritual meat. You keep the laws. You drink the spiritual drink. Then you do his commandments, and then out of your belly will flow that understanding, like rivers of water. You'll be able, whenever someone approach you, they will get vast understanding from you. You'll be like, what about this scripture? You'll be able to break it down. To easy, so simple and so easy, where they can apply it to themselves and apply it to their lives. That's the way this thing works. The reason why some people can't break down this scripture is they're not eating the meat and they're not drinking the blood. All right, give me 1 Corinthians. We still in the same book, 10 and verse 5.
1 Corinthians 10, verse 5. But with many of them, Yah was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Wow, that's a heavy scripture. Read it again.
1 Corinthians 10 and 5. But with many of them,
Many of who? We're talking about the children of Israel. The whole time, that's who we've been talking about. Our forefathers. With many of them, read.
Yah was not pleased.
Yah was not pleased with them, and what happened?
For they were overthrown in the wilderness.
He overthrew them in the wilderness. That word overthrown there means he killed them. That's what it means. People don't understand obedience. That's why many of our people get put to death now. Many of our people get put to death because they don't know, they haven't learned the spiritual meat, they haven't learned the spiritual drink, and Yah had to overthrow them for the wickedness that they were doing. That's a heavy scripture. Let's see how the Father overthrew them. Give me Numbers 16 and 9. Let's see how the Father overthrew the children of Israel. I don't want to be in that number. Please, Father, don't overthrow me.
Number 16, verse 9.
I want this whole, from 9, the whole chapter, everything. Watch this story here. It's 50 verses.
Number 16, number 16 and 9 through the rest of the book. See
The rest of the chapter.
right chapter over there. Number 16 and 9. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the Yah of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Most High, and to stand before the congregation.
Go to verse 8, because I don't want y'all to be confused about what's going on here. Go to verse 8 first.
Number 8. And Moses said unto Korah,
Moses said it to Korah, come on.
Hear, I pray you, ye son of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the Yah of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Most High.
So do y'all understand what's going on here? Y'all know who he talking to, right? He talking to some priests, right?
Right.
All right, come on. I'm going to try to keep that in mind. Listen to this story. This story is very reflective of what goes on today. Come on.
To himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Most High, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also.
Come on.
For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Most High. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him?
So what is Aaron that you murmur against him? So these brothers that he's talking to, they talking stuff against Moses and Aaron. They talking. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? What's going on here? You talking to the man that just walked you through the sea. You talking to the man that just talked to the pillar of fire by night and the cloud by day. You talking to the man with the power of Yah himself rested upon the temple. The only one that could go in and out of there was Moses. So you gonna talk stuff to them too. This is reflective of what our people do today. The men of Yah could stand before the people today and prophesy the word. Come out of this land. Come out of your sin. And they say, man, you're crazy. You know what you're talking about. Get the hell away from us. With that madness. That's what they say. But it's nothing that's different from what was going on then. They did it to Moses. And he actually, I ain't splitting no seeds. You splitting seeds? I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I know if you ain't listening to him, you damn sure ain't listening to me. You don't want to come out of this wilderness. You love America. Come on.
Number 16 and 12. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up.
They told him, Moses said, go get them brothers and tell them to come here. They said, we ain't coming up there. This is Yah's man. This is his mouthpiece. Everything you know about Yah come from him. He said, go tell them then. I said, come here. He said, I ain't going up there. Forget him. Don't go up there. And then they start teaching other people around them not to listen to Moses. Come on. Watch this. Come on. We're going to see what's going to happen. Watch this.
Number 16 and 13. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? Moreover,
so who made Moses a prince over them? Moses didn't make himself a prince over them, did he? Yah made him a prince over the children of Israel. As a matter of fact, Yah said you're going to be a god to Pharaoh, and made Moses a king over Israel. He didn't do that. That was Yah. Yah did that. But they said, Is it a small thing? You see the sly, condescending remark in it.
Yeah. Right.
So you the only one, huh? It's just you. Yeah, come on.
Number 16 and 14.
Come on.
Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that flow with milk and honey, or given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men?
Mm-hmm.
We will not come up.
We're not coming up to see what you want. We're not coming to you, Moses.
And they complain about where they at.
Yeah, you brought us over here, but we ain't gonna. We don't see no land and milk and honey. We don't see it yet. Many of our people is reflective of today. We're telling them, listen, it's a kingdom over there waiting for you. You're a royal priesthood, a priestly nation, a kingly royal nation. It's a kingdom waiting for you. Listen, I don't see that. I don't see that.
Right.
I don't see that. What religion is this? That's how they talk. That's how they talk to you. They don't. The blinders are on. They don't understand. You see your brothers and sisters dropping like flies. The police is killing them all the time. Some cases don't make the profile high profile. Some cases you never hear about.
That's right.
About them getting gunned down. Our brothers and sisters getting gunned down in the street. You don't hear about it.
Nope.
But we constantly move on, act like nothing else, like nothing is happening. Like we just got to be. We can't do nothing but be here and take it. Come on.
Number 16 and 15. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Most High, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ash from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Most High, thou and they, and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Most High every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer.
Now a censer is what the priests carry. The priests carried a censer. When they went in and out of the temple, that's what they carried. And Moses saying, bring the men that said they wasn't coming, said bring them and tell them to come and bring their censers too. 200, he said 250 censers was 250 men. It's 250 men that's revolting against Moses. That's what's going on. All right, Laura, come on.
Number 16 and 18. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Now you remember Korah, who Korah is, right? Okay, come on.
And the glory of the Most High appeared unto all the congregation.
The glory of the Most High appeared to the whole congregation. Come on.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Get away from them people, Moses. Now, if a cloud come down and you hear a voice tell Moses, get away from them people, I will be trying to find out where Moses is going.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? you understand what I'm saying? If Moses is near, if the people is near Moses, and a cloud come down, and all of a sudden a voice say, Moses, get away from them people, I'll be trying to get where Moses at. Because something about to happen. Something about to happen.
Or even if I don't hear nothing and I see Moses taking a move, I'm going
Go over here. I gotta go in his direction. Something is going on. All right, come on, let's read.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, and the Most High spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in the moment.
That I may consume them in the moment. Read.
And they fell upon their faces and said, O Yah, the Yah of the spirit of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?
Well, so in other words, Yah said, I'm about to kill all the children. I'm going to kill them all. That's what Moses, he told Moses to get away from the children of Israel because I'm about to kill them all. Do y'all understand what just happened here? What's going on here? Moses and Aaron start falling and crying. all of a sudden, they start falling and crying, please, y'all, don't kill us. Please don't kill everybody, please. They start begging him, please, y'all, not for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They start making intercession for the people. Because he said, Moses and Aaron, y'all stand back, because I'm about to kill all of them. Come on.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah.
Get away from Korah. Come on. Tell the people to get away from Korah. Come on.
Dathan and Abiram. And Moses
Them
rose,
the ringleaders right there. The ones he naming are the ringleaders. Come on.
and Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him.
The elders of Israel went with Moses. Come on.
And he spoke unto the congregation, saying,
Uh-huh.
depart, I pray you,
Uh-huh.
from the tents of these wicked men.
Everybody that's around these people that's not with these brothers, get away from them right now.
And touch nothing of theirs.
And anything you got in your hand that belong to them, drop it. Where you stand and stand back. Come on.
Lest you be consumed in all their sins.
Uh-huh.
So they got up from the tabernacles of Korah,
Come on.
Dathan,
The tabernacle is their tent. The tabernacle is their tent. That's what a tabernacle is. It's a dwelling place, their tent. So you had other Israelites that was hanging around them, listening to them preach against Moses. When Moses showed up and said, everybody that's not with them, get away from them. Come on.
So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents.
They stood in the doorway of their tents with a sly smirk on their face, looking at the man of Yah. Come on.
And their wives
And their wives stood with them. Come
and
on.
their sons
Their children stood with them. Come
and
on.
their little children.
Their little babies was with them too. Come on.
And Moses said,
Moses.
hereby ye shall know
Uh-huh.
that the Most High have sent me to do all these works.
Now you about to see. He sent me. I'm the prophet here. You gonna know by this action today. You gonna know that the Most High sent me. Come on.
And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Most High have sent me to do all these works.
Read.
For I have not done them of my own mind.
This is not me that's doing them. This is Yah doing them. Come on.
If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men,
Come on.
then the Most High have not sent me.
So what does that mean? If these men live and they gone about their life and they just happen to die of old age or something, then you gonna know that I'm a lying prophet and the Most High did not send me. You gonna know that it's not true. You gonna know that.
I'm gonna kill everybody.
Because they about to die together instantaneously. Come on. If they die a common death, means they're gonna go, they just gonna die. Okay, no. It means what he's saying here is, don't you know people live, they die, they get old, then they die, right? And then you just go ahead and get buried underground, whatever. Right? But he said if that happened to these people, you're gonna know that I'm not a prophet. They're not gonna die the common death. The common death is you go unconscious and you die, right? Y'all say I'm gonna take them alive. This is gonna be a different kind of death. This ain't gonna be regular death. They gonna die with eyes open. Come on.
But if the Most High make a new thing,
What did he say?
but if the Most High make a new thing,
This is gonna be new. He gonna make something special for them. Understand what is going on here. He said, I'm gonna make something special for them that doesn't happen. When people go, they go a certain type of way, and everybody go in a common way, in the way that they pass on. He said, but that's not gonna happen here. That's not gonna happen here. I'm gonna create something new for them. Come on.
but if the Most High make a new thing, and the earth open up her mouth
And the earth open up her mouth, come on,
and swallow them up
and just take them.
with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick
And they go down quickly.
into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Most High.
You're going to understand that Yah's not playing with you. That's what you're going to understand. Read on.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words,
Soon as Moses stopped talking, come on,
that the ground clave asunder,
the ground split open. Come on.
that the ground clave asunder, that was under them,
That was under their feet. Come
and
on.
the earth opened up her mouth
The
and
earth
swallowed them
opened up and dragged them in. The ground. Come on.
And their houses.
Of their what?
And their houses.
Their houses went in. What else went in?
All the men that appertained unto Korah.
All the men that sided with him, they went in the ground too.
And all their goods.
And everything they owned went in the ground too. Cattle, sheep, horses, oxen, wives, sons, babies, everything. Come on.
They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit.
Went down alive into the pit.
And the earth closed upon them.
And the earth shut them up like they would never hear.
And they perished from among the congregation.
And they died. All of them. All of them. He killed all of them. Read.
And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them.
Then they said, at the cry of them, they fled. Like, did you hear the way they screamed? I'm good. What kind of death was that? So that didn't mean that they just all got sucked down and just, no, it pulled them. Pull them down in the pit. You got to go because your mind is still stuck in this wilderness. Your mind is still here. And the man is trying to take you there. Y'all want you over here. But you won't be quiet long enough to get on one accord to come up out of this wilderness. What verse we at?
34.
Goodness, we got about two. Come on.
Number 16 and 34. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. But they said, lest the earth swallow us up also.
The earth gonna take us too. Come on.
And there came out a fire from the Most High and consumed the 250 men.
Now, do y'all understand that it's the 250 instances that Moses told to come here? He brought them together because they was gonna be doing sacrifices and stuff. You know what I'm saying? These is priests that was rolling with them. Come on.
And there came out a fire from the Most High and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own soul, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offer them before the Most High. Therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel.
Don't you know how a lot of our customs and a lot of things that we have in Israel, they came about through death. Somebody messed up somewhere, y'all had to kill him, and then you had to instruct them, listen, do this.
Like the friends.
Like the friends. It's something, somebody did something stupid, y'all killed him, and then he said, listen, throw that out. Don't do that, don't throw that out. Now we're going to make this thing holy. Set apart. We're going to make this thing set apart. Now instruct the men to make breastplates. When they come before me, they stand before me, that's why the children of Israel had breastplates. The priests had breastplates, and they had all 12 tribes. The ensign of the flags or the symbols of all 12 tribes. Read.
Number 16 and 39. And Eleazar, the priest, took the brazen censers wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Most High, that he be not as Korah, and as his company, as the Most High said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, You have killed.
They did it again, didn't they? They did it again.
Wow.
They did it again.
Right.
They thought Moses did that.
Yeah. You did it again. Now watch what happened. Watch what happened. I spoke too soon earlier. This is the part I was talking about here.
But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying,
They start talking stuff against Moses and Aaron the next day.
saying.
So you know what, brothers and sisters, you don't have a chance. You walk away, people be talking. Who is you? They talk stuff against Moses and Aaron. They seen all these miracles they performing, and they was ragging on them. Come on, man.
Saying, you have killed the people of the Most High. And it came to pass when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation.
Here come Yah.
And behold, the cloud covered it.
They got to talking. They say, you the one killed them people yesterday. Y'all killed all them brothers yesterday. Y'all wrong. Y'all killed all them people yesterday. Y'all wrong. Did you not see the ground open up?
Right.
You understand?
That would have blew my mind.
Come on.
And behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Most High appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation.
Watch this.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying,
Watch this.
Get you up from among this congregation.
Moses, stand back. Get away from these people. Get away from these people.
Again.
Yah is upset. He is mad.
Wow.
Moses, stand back. You and Aaron, get back away from these people. Come on.
Get you up from amongst this congregation.
Come on.
That I may consume them as in a moment.
Now I'm killing everybody. Every living Israelite that's standing out there, I'm killing in the world. Every Israelite in the world, I'm going to kill.
And they fell upon their faces.
And Moses and Aaron said, oh, Yah. It just fell down. Oh, Yah, please don't do it. Please. Come on.
And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation, and make an atonement for them.
You'll make an atonement for the congregation.
For there is wrath going out from the Most High.
There's wrath going out from the Most High.
The plague is begun.
Guess what? He put a plague in Israel. He said, I'm going to kill everybody with disease and plague. It struck him. He struck him, and watch what Aaron does. Watch what Aaron does. This is the love you got to have for your brothers. We know that they're plagued. This is what you got to do for your brothers. And we know they're sick. We know they're plagued. But you got to stand and make intercession. You got to stand in the middle for them. Watch what Aaron did.
And Aaron took, as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation.
So Aaron took the censer and the incense, and he took it and he ran. He shot out in the midst of the congregation. Because imagine Moses and Aaron standing, and he stood from the very back of the congregation. You start to see people fall. Yah is going through consuming he's killing everybody. Because you imagine how fast he got to go. Aaron shot back there, right? He got the censer, he got the censer, he got the incense. He got to atone for the people's sin, because the people sin. So he got to go atone for them, and he got to get to them. So Aaron is running with the censer. He's running with the censer. What happens?
And ran into the midst of the congregation. And behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense and made an atonement for the people.
Come on. He did it fast. He's moving fast. Come on.
And he stood between the dead and the living.
He stood between the dead and the living. And what happened?
And the plague was stayed.
And it stayed. Y'all stopped the plague because the man of Yah was there. Now he's praying. So y'all, you telling me prayer is not powerful? From a man of Yah? You telling me that? The man shot out as soon as he seen the people dying. He shot out. He shot out there and started making atonement for the people. Y'all don't kill him. Y'all don't kill him. And he stopped. He stopped. He stood between the living and the dead. Read.
Now they that died in the plague.
They that died in the plague, come on.
Were 14,000.
14,000 people died. Come on.
14,700.
Come on.
Beside them that died about the matter of Korah.
On yesterday. Besides the people that he killed yesterday, he killed almost 15,000 the next day.
And Aaron returned unto Moses.
And Aaron came back to Moses. Come on.
Unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed.
And the plague had stopped. Yah accepted the prayer. He stopped. He stopped killing them. Is that it? Yes, yes. All right. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians now. Y'all thought we was done with 1 Corinthians? All right.
Then I remember. What was it?
1 Corinthians 10 and now we're on 6.
1 Corinthians 10 and 6 read, now these things were our example.
Now what happened to those Israelites, now what happened to those children of Israelites that Yah threw over in the wilderness was an example, come on,
To the intent we should not lust after evil things.
to the intent that we shouldn't lust after evil things which our forefathers did and was killed, come on.
As they also lusted. Neither be idolaters.
Don't be idolatrous, come on.
As were some of them.
Some of them was idolatrous, come on.
As it is written.
Come on.
The people sat down to eat and drink.
Come on.
And rose up to play.
They rose up to play. I'll read that again, because that is very important for the men of Israel to know that today. Because you got too many men out here playing games. Grown men like little boys with their hats tucked to the side, their pants under their butt, and your whole nation of people are dying right before your eyes. But you rising up to play a game. Or you got your behind on, what is this thing?
Oh, PlayStation.
Yes, a grown man. I remember one time my son was on the game on the internet thing, and I heard him talking. I said, who are you talking to? It was a 28-year-old man he giving consultation to about a marriage. I said, what is he talking about his wife and kids to you? What is going on here? Get off this game. Verse 7, just come on.
Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play.
They rose up to play. They rose up to play. Yahweh Shah said that the children, the men of the children of Israel, were like children as well. Give me that. Luke 7 and 31. Luke 7 and 31. You're going to rise up. You're going to eat, drink, rise up, and play. Not going to take care of no business. You're not going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to play. You're not going to start anything. You just want to play.
Luke 7 and 31. And the Most High said, Whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation?
How should I describe the men of this, the Israelite man of this generation? Come on.
And to what are they like?
And what are they like?
They are like unto children.
They're like what?
They are like unto children.
They're just like children. Come on.
Sitting in the marketplace.
Sitting in the marketplace doing what?
And calling one to another.
Come on.
And saying, we have piped unto you. And you have not danced. We have mourned to you.
Come on.
And you have not wept.
Come on. Is that it?
What we going to?
32.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. It's just like children. Just like children. Yahweh Shah said, what should I say about these men? Just like children. Paul said what? They want to do what? They just want to play. They want to eat, drink, rise, and play. That's it. That's it. It tells us not to be idolaters like our forefathers were. Let's see how that was. Give me Exodus 32 and 5. Not to be idolaters like our forefathers. Exodus 32 and 5. I want verses 5 and 6.
Exodus 32 and 5 reads, And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Most High. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play.
You said they did what?
And people sat down to eat and to drink.
Come on.
And rose up to play.
So this is nothing new. They was in the wilderness eating, drinking, sacrificing the idols, and they rose up to play. I said, this is a game. It's a game. Not only do we have other nations killing us, but we kill each other. We hurt one another. And men that has the sense or have some sense about them, a lot of them is just rising up and playing. Eat, drink, be merry, and playing games. You do your people a disservice when the Bible calls you a savior, a deliverer of your nation. You do your people a disservice. Give me Amos 5 and 21. We always been like this though. Amos 5 and 21, read on down to 27. And this is why the Most High says these words.
21 to the end.
21 to 27.
Amos 5 and 21. I despise your feast days, and I would not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Hold on a second. No. Go take care of that. Okay. All right, come on.
Amos 5 and 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
Read verse 21 again. It's very important that we read to get a good understanding of it.
Amos 5 and 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Mean I will not accept your offerings. I'm not going to accept your offerings. Come on.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
I'm not going to accept them. Read.
Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Come on.
Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
Viols is just instruments. Playing instruments before Yah, he said, I don't want to hear that noise. I don't want to hear that. Come on.
But let judgment run down as waters.
Come on.
And righteousness as a mighty stream.
Read on.
Have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years?
How long did they offer? How long did they offer?
40 years.
40 years in the wilderness they offered. Come on. But what else did they do? Come on.
O house of Israel.
But what else did they do? Verse 26 is going to tell you why he wasn't accepting their offerings and why he did not go into the solemn festivals. Read.
But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and Shion, your images,
read.
The star of your God,
read,
which ye made to yourselves.
So you want to go and make an image and an idol of yourself and sacrifice to it, and then take a sacrifice and go and sacrifice to Yah. He said, I ain't buying that. I don't want it. This is how they treated Yah in the wilderness, and this is how we treat Yah in this wilderness. We do the same thing. Our people do the same thing. One thing about it, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. Verse 27.
Therefore will I cause you to go into captivity.
Thank you, forefathers. This is why we had to go into captivity.
Beyond Damascus, saith the Most High, whose name is the Master of Hosts.
Hallelujah. It's cause and effect. That's what it is. It's cause and effect. Whatever you do, whatever you sow, that will you also reap. Read Numbers 14 and 33. We almost done. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it.
Numbers 14 and 33.
Yep. Numbers 14 and 33.
Numbers 14 and 33 reads, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years.
How long?
For 40 years.
And in Amos, we just read that they were there 40 years. And in Numbers, we read Numbers 14 and 33. We wandered in the wilderness 40 years. Come on.
And bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness.
He said, listen. The Most High said, listen. Since I can't get these people to understand, and if I'm not going to destroy them totally and wipe them completely off the face of the earth, I'm just going to have to wait till they die out. And I'll just use their children. And that's what's happening right now. Some of these older Israelite men and women, they got to go. They got to go. They ain't going to change their ways. They're not going to change. They stuck on church.
That's right.
They're not going to change. I'm going to give Joyce Meyer my money to the day I die. Good, because you're going to die. You got to go. You got to go. And y'all said, I'm just going to use you. Y'all go. Now use your children. So y'all going to just stay stagnant in the same place, fighting wars. Y'all know that they was fighting, right? We were fighting, right? The whole 40 years time span that we were in the wilderness, we were fighting. All of this while they was being swallowed up in the ground. It was war going on. This is war that's going on. We got enemies all around us, but you talking about Moses. Unloyal to one another. Disunity about one another. We do the same thing today.
Right.
We didn't change. It's the same thing. That's all? That's all 33, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me Deuteronomy 2 and 13. We're getting there. Deuteronomy 2 and 13.
Deuteronomy 2 and 13. Now rise up, said I,
Mm-hmm.
and get you over the brook Zered.
Mm-hmm.
And we went over the brook Zered,
Come on.
and the spaces in which we came from Kadesh Barnea Kadesh Barnea,
Yep.
until we were come over the brook Zered. Was 30 and 8 years.
How long was it?
Was 30 and 8
It
years.
was 30 and 8 years before we came over. Come on.
Until all the generation of the men of war were wasted.
Did y'all hear what I wanted? That was very important to hear. Read that part again.
Was 30 and 8 years.
Come on.
Until all the generation of the men of war
Uh-huh.
were wasted out from among the hosts, as the Most High swore unto them.
So after all of their fighting with the other nations, all of their wars and conquests and things like that, it was still 38 years before all the men of war had died. We're going into a new kingdom. We're going into a new era. And it's just some of that old stuff we can't take with us. You don't want to come together, you got to die in this wilderness. You don't want to build with your brother, you got to die in this wilderness. Oh, I can't be with that sister. You don't like that sister for no reason at all? Guess what? You're going to have to die in this wilderness. I bet you it'll be some people talking about, is that new empire coming out? We be trying to get up out of here. It'll be like, is that new empire? That new season?
Miss Empire
The new
tomorrow.
season?
Power.
Right.
I'm Miss Power tomorrow.
I'm telling you, man, our people is something else. I love them. It's something else, man. Well, that's why some of us, we're going to have to start afresh and we're going to have to start anew. Because that same old way of thinking, marching and not doing nothing, the same old selfish way of thinking, is not going to create change. It's not going to affect any change. We need to think about what we need to do to create change within our community. Think of what you can do, what you can offer to change what you see. Give me Matthew 7 and 18. I think this is going to be the last one. Maybe.
7 and 18.
7 and 18. And read on down to verse 21. Matthew 7 and 18. Because you should fear. If you hear these words, you should be scared. Come on.
Matthew 7, verses 18 through 21. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit.
This is the Yahweh Shah speaking here. This is our Messiah and King that's speaking. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit.
Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
The tree is corrupt. The tree is evil. It cannot produce anything good or right. Come on.
Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down.
It's hewn down means to be cut down. Come on.
And cast into the fire.
And burned up.
Wherefore,
which you as a transgressor or one that doesn't obey Yah's commandments, you want to be hewed down and thrown in the lake of fire. Verse 20.
Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
You don't have to inquire about people. All you have to do is watch them. Because however they are, you can tell what that tree is. If you never see them with fringes on, you know what they believe or don't believe. If they hear the same thing you hear and they're doing something opposite of what you're doing, you already know what they believe. And some of these non-believers, it's tight but it's right. It's gonna be family. He laid up in your house, and they don't believe, and they're not going to believe. We have to accept that. We have to accept it. We don't like it. I got children that don't believe. I want all my children to believe. I got some that don't believe. I have to accept that. They very well may not believe. It might not be God's plan for them to make it. It's tight, but it's right. Verse 21.
Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that saith unto me,
Watch this.
Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Read that again.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Guess what? This is not a non-believer. This is a believer. Did I just screw your mind up when I said that?
You said that before.
This is not an unbeliever that's saying this. This is a believer. Because why is how I know this is a believer? Because this person is standing in front of Yahweh Shah, obviously knowing who he is. And he said, Master, Master. Because he or she is expecting a reward. Master, Master. Read on.
But he that doeth the will of my Father.
Start from the beginning. Verse 21.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven.
You skipped something. You didn't read it again. I'm sorry, you didn't, but I want you to read it again.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Come on.
But he that doeth the will of my Father.
But if you do the will of my Father is keep his commandments. His will is his commandments in obedience. Read.
But he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven.
Verse 22.
Many will say to me in that day.
Many will say. The ones that saying, Master, Master, that day of vengeance, many will say what they're going to say.
Many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name?
That's how you know they're believers. Did we prophesy in your name? Come on.
In thy name have cast out devils.
And we did cast out devils in your name. I remember I did that. Come on.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
And I did many wonderful. I fed the sick. I clothed. I did everything. I thought I did everything you said.
And then will I profess unto them.
These 11 words are horrifying. Come on.
I never knew you.
Goodness.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
I never knew you.
Never knew you.
Depart from me is get away from me. Ye that works iniquity, ye that sin. So it's not. How do you get the kingdom? Through commandments and faith, right? So obviously this person got faith, right? He wasn't keeping the commandments. Working iniquity is not keeping the commandments. It takes both. It takes both. Verse 23.
And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Ye that work iniquity. Give me Ezekiel right quick. Give me Ezekiel 20 and 22. Because Yahushua is reiterating something that we already read in the Old Testament. He always does this. So we're going to see when and where this happened. We're going to do it real fast. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20 and start at give me verses 22 and 23 and then drop down to 35.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verses 22, 23, and 35 reads, Nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose sight I brought them forth.
Come on.
I lifted up my hand unto them also in the wilderness,
Come on.
that I will scatter them among the heathen,
And we are scattered among the heathen. Come on.
and disperse them through the country.
And we've been dispersed through slavery. Come on.
35.
Verse 35. Yeah.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
After he scattered us and he's going to deliver us, he's going to bring us into the wilderness of the people. Read.
And there I will plead with you face to face.
I will plead with you face to face. Read on.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness.
When did he plead with our fathers in the wilderness?
Of the land of Egypt.
Do y'all remember what he did when he pleaded with us in the wilderness? Did people go down in the ground and get swallowed up?
Sure did.
Yeah, that's how he pled with them. He ain't gonna go say, please do right. That's not happening. He's just gonna say, I'm gonna plead with you in the wilderness. The ground gonna open up and he's gonna suck you down. He said, I'm gonna plead with you in the wilderness as I did with your fathers. I pled with them too. Read.
So will I plead with you, saith the Most High Yah.
Come on.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Come on.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from you among the rebels.
Come on.
And them that transgress against me.
Now read it again. I stepped on you, but read it again so they can hear it.
Verse 38 in chapter 20 of Ezekiel.
Come on.
And I will purge out from you among the rebels.
Come on.
And them that transgress against me.
He's going to purge out the rebels. So the rebels is actually going to be saved with us. He's going to deliver all of us together. But those rebels, those that believe but do not in particularly keep the commandments, he's going to kill in the wilderness. I'm going to plead with you. You don't want to do it? Fine. Ground, shut down, dead. Was that all 38? Read it.
I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn.
I will bring you out of the countries where you sojourn all around the world. Come on.
And they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Most High.
You're going to know that I'm the Most High when you see those rebels being killed. Is that all of 38, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's all I want. Go back to Matthew.
Let's see what was it?
Matthew 7 and 24 is the last verse I want read.
Matthew 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man.
If you do what I said, you're a wise man. Read.
I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock.
You built your house on a firm foundation when you do what Yahweh Shah tells you to do. Give me 1 Timothy, last one, 1 Timothy 4, 12 and 12 through 16. It's the last one. 1 Timothy. Because this is how our people ought to be, you know. Sometimes I get frustrated with our people, but I love our people. My frustration is just love. That's what it is. It's love. I want to see my people turn from their wicked ways and do right. Do the right thing.
1 Timothy 4, 12 through 14.
Yes, 12 through 16.
1 Timothy 4, verses 12 through 16 reads, Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity,
in love,
in spirit, in faith, in purity.
This is how we ought to be. Come on.
Till I come, give attendance to reading.
Give yourself attendance in reading and studying. This is the way that you grow in spirit. Give yourself attendance in reading. Come on.
To exhortation. To doctrine.
Sure up your doctrine. Whatever you believe, you study that thing so you know all the ins and outs of what you believe. Come on.
Neglect not the gift that is in thee.
Don't neglect the gift that's in you. Come Come on.
which was given thee by prophecy,
Come on.
with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery.
The presbytery are the elders. The presbytery is elders. Come on.
Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them,
Give yourself to them.
that thy profiting may appear to all.
That the profiting, your profiting may appear to all. People say, that man been with God. Oh, that sister been with God. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Take heed unto thyself,
Take heed to thyself
and unto the doctrine.
and to the doctrine.
Continue in them,
Continue in them. Come on.
for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself
You're going to save yourself. Come on.
and them that hear thee.
And them that hear it. You're going to be a deliverer out of the wilderness that's called America. You're going to save yourself and you're going to save your people. With that being said, we say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Brothers and sisters, come out of her.
Loved it.
Come out of her. We first have to come out of her through our minds, with our minds. It's not a physical come out. We can't just leave America and go somewhere. You're going to run into the same situation.
That's right. No matter where you are.
No matter where you go. You have to change the way your thought process. And then you have to change the people around you. Then you have to change your community. I always say this, though. Then you have to change your city. Then you have to change your state. Then we can affect change in the world with our nation. That's what we have to do. All right. That being said, we're closing our tabernacle. We thank you for joining us. Those that allowed us to come into your homes tonight. That being said, we say hallelujah. God bless.